we like forget to introduce ourselves, but yeah, Cynthia Luna,
Cynthia Luna,
Paul Luna.
Paul Luna.
And yeah, you can ask us anything. We basically meet once a week. Feel free to ask your question. Just drop them in the comments and I'll see where I can find them. And then, let's see, while I'm trying to like surf around and multitask. Here we go. And then when we have, oh, great. I think I found our stream. So now, yeah, you can ask us anything. We basically meet once a week. Did I just curse on camera?
No, you didn't.
Okay, so I found it. So basically, I'm using this new program, and every week is a new adventure and experimentation. I have learned that I can stream your comments through to Restream, which is what I'm using. However, because I did not make that connection public, it won't post your comments publicly through the program that I use. So I actually have to have two of the screens going. One is the Facebook stream, which is what you just heard, and then the Restream. So that's just a little workaround that I found, because that's how we roll when you're an entrepreneur, really. You have to get creative.
Yes, you have to get creative.
You're very quiet this week. Actually, he really hasn't been quiet this week. He's been very bubbly with all sorts of insights, and you've discovered a lot of things about social media platforms, etc. I think that's supposed to be hot.
I know.
It's okay.
I discovered wonders of the unknown on social media. So if you want any tips on social media, I'm the person to ask.
He's your guy, especially if it's social media that involves video. So you're like the Instagram king in our household. You're all about Instagram.
Editing and having your videos reach 200 to 300 people.
Views.
Mm-hmm. Views, 200, 300 views, 400 views. Mm-hmm. Whether it be a combination, actually more. Whether it be a combination of just Instagram, Facebook, and
YouTube. Yeah.
But just one post on Instagram can probably get you 400 views.
It makes me laugh because, like you just kind of do things. You are a provocateur.
I also have to let you know that I do not know what I'm doing. It just so happens that
it gets a lot of views. Maybe
views.
Part of the reason behind that is like it's like a car accident or something. Like people just need to watch this.
Well, you don't have to have, one of the things that I've learned, you don't have to have a lot of followers to have people view on Instagram. Mm. And I think that we're very confused when it comes to followers and getting your name out or your brand out. Mm. They're two totally different things. Getting your name out is what you're looking for. Mm-hmm. When people start recognizing, hey, I'm seeing this person more and more. I'm seeing this person. This is interesting. This is interesting. Maybe I need to click on it one day. Mm-hmm. So that's what happens. They're two totally different things. If you want followers, buy them.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that folks recommend, and I strongly believe that as well, which is, when you go into business for yourself, one of the things that you want to do is to develop your brand. So, and this is actually just a small little tip if you're just getting started. Don't get caught up in saying like, hey, sign up for Project X. I really believe in Project X, and Project X has all of these products and services and whatever that you want to buy today. It's really more about branding you, explaining your story, telling your story, sharing your story, whether it's through emails or video or social. And then, just sort of saying, there's this product that I use that's also helped take me to this point,
I want to also say this, and this for me goes for life. Obviously, those of you who know me, I am a chef. I cook for a living. But this goes for every aspect of life. And that is that you must have fun doing whatever it is you do.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have to, I call it playing with yourself.
That's been like the theme of the week.
The theme of the week is, do you play by yourself?
With yourself.
Oh, with yourself.
That's the joke. If you say play by yourself, then, you're just a lonely child who plays by himself.
I play by myself.
Yeah, but you're not a lonely child. You're never lonely. When you're alone, you're not lonely.
Listen, in English and the words and all of this stuff, to me, I'm really not caught in the words. Do you play with yourself?
There you go.
Period. Whether if it's play by myself, play with herself, play. Do you play?
Anyway, so that's a sneak peek into one of the interviews that he had. But instead, he decided he wanted to.
No, I don't have it here. You see this?
No, not today's interview. In the interview that you had with somebody else this week, which is again a secret, soon to be revealed interview.
Yes.
It was a kind of a funny interview. Did you get to edit the whole thing?
I know. I haven't.
Well,
I have a question for you. Today we're going to change the situation around, and I'm going to do all of the questions today. Okay. And I'm going to start with a very easy question. What is it like to be married to a chef?
Oh, it's awesome. It's excellent.
Do you know where the kitchen is?
Oh my goodness. I do know where the kitchen is. It's actually where I reheated our tea for our program today.
Reheat.
Reheated.
Cold.
But I do make fresh tea too.
Cold tea is what we're having. Look at this. My finger inside.
They can't see
it's
it.
Cold.
Okay, I mean it's not really hot, but it's hot enough. I mean,
doesn't know where the kitchen is.
It passes muster. Next question.
We have something here.
No, that's a message.
Okay, well that's a message.
So it's a secret message, but you can read it if you want to.
No,
it's
okay.
not related to our life.
Okay, here we go. Question number 1.
Question number 1. But those were some sneaky questions. But I have to say, being married to a chef is wonderful. Being married to a chef who's decided on a complete career overhaul, well, that's a little bit different. We'll talk about that during the next episode of Ask Us Anything.
We have another question.
When I host the show without the chef.
What would you recommend to someone getting started on online marketing?
Someone who's getting started in online marketing. What I would recommend for someone who's getting started and where to get started is to take your time to find the right offer. And I would say don't find more than 2 offers, and then try to understand how you would go about promoting it. So that would be it. And I think the offers that do really well for people who are just getting started are those that explain to you how to do online marketing, whatever aspect of online marketing is most interesting to you. So,
how long have you been on online marketing?
How long? Actually, it's just been a little bit over a year, technically, where I've sort of started to put all of my focus there. I have been, let's say, dabbling in online marketing for several years before that, as I was working on my freelance writing business and being a freelance writer. So in terms of like knowing how to set up an online business, set up a web page, establish email lists, things like that. I had already started to understand how, learn about all of the little cogs inside the watch. But definitely my watch wasn't as sophisticated as, the watches of the 6-figure, 7-figure online marketers out there.
What was your biggest challenge from the beginning to where you are now? Or have you met the challenges?
I think there's always going to be new challenges. But I would say my biggest challenge, just getting started, actually, I think my biggest challenge was really understanding the importance of the offer. And when I actually landed on 2, and I feel like the offers, they complement themselves. So there's one offer that provides you sort of with everything that you need to know, and it gives you sort of a very global view of the entire affiliate marketing landscape and how what are all of the pieces, how all of the pieces come together. It kind of establishes like, a mise en place with some of the basics of like what happens in what area of the kitchen, if I were to describe it that way. And then the other one focuses a bit more on traffic and how to work with the leads as you start getting leads into your online business and as you start communicating with your customers or your online clients. They complement each other really well. So they offer sort of 2 levels of learning, and I have managed to finally pace those 2 different kinds of offers really well for my own learning, but also for my own outreach email marketing efforts. And I just had another thought. The one big challenge, because I think that was your big question, was being able to focus, because there were so many things to learn that I couldn't really like figure out, okay, how am I going to focus and how am I going to sort of establish my brand? And somehow I've finally realized that like writing is still a very big part of who I am and how I interact with people. And so I'm starting to really focus on mostly email marketing, as opposed to you, where your focus in engaging with people is more focused on video marketing or video outreach.
So I have, this is, it's going to start like a story at the beginning, if you will. Let's say one is approaching retirement, or for those who are retired. They have worked 40 years, 50 years of their lives, and now they're looking to supplement their income or have extra to be able to take vacations and everything else. Should this be approached no differently than the job that they had before?
Yes.
Okay, so that was a yes. Which was it?
I don't know what you mean exactly by no differently, but
no differently. What I was getting at would be, now that you are retired, though, you don't have to show up at work, is what I'm getting at. And so because you don't have to show up at work, you can be enthusiastic about it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Right? And so the question would be, is there a totally different way than to look at it than it was a 9-to-5 job when one began their career or their workload in life?
Well, I think, and actually I do interact with a few people who are retired, who are in online marketing, and I think one of the struggles that a lot of them have comes when they haven't yet sort of anchored online marketing as a business that they need to show up to on the regular. And so, you know, like they'll wake up, they might like get their coffee, they might bop around the house for a little while, and then they'll get caught up in their real life, whatever that is, laundry or feeding the cats or maybe going grocery shopping. And then before they know it, it's, you know, late in the evening, and it might not be the time of day when they would be, say, working or productive. And that's not to say that, like, if you have the luxury of having even a small income that covers some basic needs, that's not to say that you should. I actually strongly recommend against you booking in an 8-hour day to devote to your online business. But I do think that level of focus should include, say, you know, 1 or 2 hours that you work on just your business, and then maybe an additional hour or two for learning or interacting with others in the business online, and just kind of having that coffee time banter or something like that. So it's social, but there is kind of, you know, where you can exchange ideas or tips. And actually, that's one of the things that I have been doing with 2 of the retirees, but one with whom I speak with regularly. She and I, we meet weekly. We dial in through Facebook Room, and we chat about what we've been doing over the past week. And I think just even the consistency of that weekly call, that it takes place at the same time every week, it gives us something to show up to, and it also gives us something to show up for, you know.
Well, one of the things that I have discovered, whether it be on video content, whether it be on marketing, whether it be anything related at all, or everything related with, you know, online marketing and or social media,
setting up an online business,
is that it really requires a great deal of understanding to know yourself. Because I'll tell you what happened to me today. So today I am told to refresh. I don't know if that's the word. Again, I don't know computers. I don't know technology. Sorry. So today I'm told to refresh. What's the word?
Oh, update your
update the
smartphone.
The smartphone. And so everything has been changed.
Yeah, even I updated my software to iOS.
Everything has changed.
It added one app, and like all of the other app tiles have been shifted.
Well, they really did make it easier. All of that to say that I don't want to ever do this again. So all I'm saying is that if you get into a situation where it starts becoming problematic,
yes,
that put it aside.
Yes.
Don't really spend any of your time figuring it out.
Yeah.
Because you're going to go
breaking your head over it. No way.
You're going to go into that, and 1 hour becomes 3 very fast, really quick.
Yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Well, and I would say that is something that's going to happen to anybody who goes into business for themselves, not just online marketing. I would say, remember when I was partnering with you on the restaurant, and we were in sort of the first few weeks of the restaurant being open. We didn't have the liquor license yet, which is a whole other ball of wax. And I had just received the computer and the software for our point of sale system. So that's like the register with the credit card. I spent probably about 2 weeks, several hours every day. And we were also operating as a restaurant. We were just a cash business at the time, but several hours of the day on the phone with some tech guy trying to like fit this cable into the right outlet, program this thing into the right application. It was mind-boggling. And, I would even get started early in the day thinking, okay, I've got 4 hours to like do something. And it would be 4 p.m. we would have made it through a whole day and we still didn't really get far.
Well, it goes back again. If you've allocated a certain time period to do something, do not let something else distract you and take you away from that. Stay with the program that you had today. Because again, even though you are, let's say, retired, or even though this is separate from the job that you have to have a clear vision of what your day is going to look, or the 2 hour, 3 hour that you have in mind of what it is that you're doing, so that you don't get lost in it.
Yeah.
That's what I've noticed for myself.
And it's key. And I have also learned just over the years of freelance writing is I have one goal work-wise for the day. I might have a to-do list, but it's the goal that I have to like work towards. So it's like this is the assignment that I need to like make some kind of headway on or movement on. You know, I need to write 1 page about X, or my assignment is to, you know, add 2 more paragraphs to this discussion or something. So like I always have like a vision of what would be forward movement in my business. And the same applies with the online business. My goal is always to have an email go out every other day. I have at least an email ready for every other day. So this weekend, I'm going to have an email lined up for Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday.
That does not mean that the goal is with an end result in mind.
No.
The goal is just to have the job.
To move the needle.
That's all there is. It doesn't mean that, you know, there's a return on that investment, or to expect
no
people knocking on your door.
It's really just to get some kind of like movement or needle, like to move the needle in some way. You know, sometimes and it's always just one thing. It's like, if there's one thing that I think will have a positive impact on the business, what is it? And that's where I put my focus. Now, there are other things on my to-do list that I also have to accomplish, but I really don't allow myself to get caught up with, you know, all of those things. In fact, I knocked a few things off.
I have another question here for you.
Thank you.
I've seen this term, attraction marketing. What does that mean?
What does attraction marketing mean? Attraction marketing, I think, is it's a nice marketing term developed by marketers, of course, that are always trying to discover or how to appeal to, you know, really their old audiences. So attraction marketing, really the idea is, and I think this is where branding yourself really becomes very important for the person. It's if you focus on yourself and the value that you can bring to others, then with attraction marketing, you will draw the people who align with who you are and how you vibe. And you won't be sort of trying to cajole customers, cajole business out of people. So that's really the idea behind attraction marketing.
I want to say this because I think that there are words that we are associated with. You know, we identify obviously with words. And one of the words that, well, pretty much all words I feel uncomfortable with, because they're just words. They don't really mean anything. They fall on deaf ears, if you will. But I want to say the word brand is one of them that really gets to me. And I say that because if I am a simple cook anywhere, retired, not retired, of a certain age, or I am an electrician, I keep on coming back to electricians and plumbers and anything that you can think of as a side job. When you think of brand, you think of Google, Coca-Cola, Apple, Tesla. You don't think of yourself as a brand, right? So it's very difficult for the individual who is a nobody. I'm including myself in there, please. As a nobody, to be able to say, what brand am I?
What value do I have to bring to people?
Exactly. And I am going to say this. If you cannot see yourself as a brand, and if you cannot see yourself successful at this point in your life, then don't do online marketing. Don't do anything online.
Actually, don't do anything.
Don't do anything.
Don't do anything. Now, I mean, and I appreciate the provocative statement, because the reality is that, you know, everybody does have some value to bring. And I think we all have a role to play in uplifting each other. But the first thing that you have to do is know the value that you bring, and be able to uplift yourself and elevate yourself to the value that you'll bring to the world.
Come into it from an illogical way of thinking. Don't come from it from a logical way of thinking. Everyone thinks logically, but logically can't question the illogical. It's the other way around. The illogical questions what's logical.
That's the way that works for him. The way that works for me is, I don't think there's as much thinking or not thinking that takes place. For me, it's a very sort of intuitive process. I really, like, if I don't feel good about what I'm doing while I'm doing it, then I really shouldn't be doing it. And that goes with everything. Like, if I don't feel good about what I'm writing, then it's probably crap. I mean, when I look at it at some later time, when I've created some distance, I'll probably say, like, yeah, I'm not feeling this. This doesn't feel authentic to me. And the same would go for the emails, or, you know, whatever else I post, you know, online.
I'm not taking away from feelings, because I don't have any. I feel. Feelings, no. Feel, yes. What I'm getting at is that...
I know what you're getting at.
What I'm getting at is that there are lots of gurus out there. And there are lots of people who are extremely successful at everything that they have, whether it be online marketing, as a celebrity chef, at creating companies, at selling companies, and everything you can think of. And when you look at it, you're left with, if you're interested in heading in that direction, you're left with, oh my God, that person is, I can't really get into that arena with that person. Consider it either a wrestling match, or consider it a sports event, or anything else. And what I'm saying is that look at what others are doing. Look at what others do, and question it for yourself. That is what I'm saying. Is to question what it is, and don't remain or be fearful of the fact that this individual is doing it one way.
Yeah, yeah.
That is why I am saying, go into it in another direction. I don't know anything about computers, but I do know its function. Know how to turn it on and off. That's the beginning.
Today you wanted to turn it off by throwing it out the window.
Out the window. But the thing was I thought about it, and I couldn't throw it out the window because of one reason only. It snowed a lot here.
Oh, so it would have
so
had
it
a
wouldn't
soft
break.
landing. Probably wouldn't have turned it off.
No, and it, so I decided, you know what, I'll keep it this week. Email marketing. What are your thoughts?
There are some people out there who says email marketing is dead. I don't think so. I mean, I know the amount of time that I poke into my email every day. Actually, I've disciplined myself. I only reach into my email like twice a day, and sometimes I even forget. But I don't think email marketing is dead. I do think that the other forms of communicating with people can supplement email marketing, but I think email is still here to stay. And that is why it is the area where I will be continuing the focus of my business and continuing the focus of my online outreach. It is still the place where you can control your lead generation activities, where you can drive traffic and you can continuously maintain a level of communication with that audience. So email marketing, definitely here to stay. And while I'm ranting about email marketing, I have developed a small course online that folks can learn a little bit about email marketing, how to set up their email follow-up series or a welcome series, and it's called Wow Emails Training.
It's a wild story.
It's a wow story. No, it's called Wow Emails Training, and it stands for Right Original Welcome Emails, because I have seen a lot of email sequences or welcome sequences that have literally been exactly the same from one offer to the next. And since we talked about this topic of brand, I think it's a lost opportunity for you as the online entrepreneur to sort of like start explaining to people who you are, what turned you towards online, setting up an online business, online marketing, and forming a team and bringing your new subscribers on a journey with you. So I'll drop the link below after this little series here, but
I have to say, this week for me, there's a lot of studying that needs to take place, a lot of research, if you will, to understand exactly what it is that you're doing, and to understand, let's say, this thing here.
He does everything on his phone. I don't know how he does
because if you can't understand what's here, it'll be very difficult for you to understand what takes place in online marketing. And so, to me, I discovered that it is essential to learn the tools that are out there for you, whether it be in content writing, whether it be in understanding online marketing and everything else. There's a great deal of research. I don't know if you'll be able to get it from one person.
No.
And not only are you not going to get it from one person, what I am getting at is that you need to do it for yourself, because if you don't understand this, what's taking place, it is very difficult for you to get into it and for you to get involved and to say, oh, that's how it is. And that's what I did this whole entire week for myself.
And it's not going to end.
No, it's just the beginning.
It will always kind of like build on itself. And that's why I was saying at the beginning, when you start looking for the right offer for you, that probably the best kind of offer for you would be, if you don't have any online marketing experience whatsoever, that first offer for you is probably going to be just one of those lay the groundwork, and choose the course, the online course or opportunity that really gives you sort of all of the nuts and bolts in one.
Okay.
Yeah. So, well, I think we're going to keep today's Ask Us Anything short. This is our weekly Ask Us Anything. Nobody joined us this week. But basically we meet at 3 p.m. Central European time, or 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
And in Chicago, because I've been doing a lot of interviews, in Chicago, what Central Time would be?
That would
They're
be
8 hours.
8 a.m.
8 a.m. There we go.
For Central U.S. time, whatever that is.
And in Sri Lanka,
I can't.
they're about 11 hours.
No, actually, when you head east towards Asia, they even have time zones that like break by the half hour. So, you know, they might be like 4.5 hours ahead of us or something. So just to complicate matters a little bit more for you.
That's my next phone call.
But yeah, keep an eye out on this guy. He's done, I don't know, something like, we counted the other day, 12 interviews with people in the food and beverage. Well, maybe you should just talk about it very quickly.
I've been interviewing anyone who's interested in being interviewed.
In?
The food and beverage industry. Well, it's not necessarily food and beverage.
Yeah.
I mean, it's anyone who's held a job in a food and beverage industry, pretty much, currently or in the past. Who has either written a book, who's actually been a server, a bartender, a dishwasher, and
it's been really cool. I mean, you've obviously been part of the interviews and editing all of the interviews. I've only heard snapshots of bits of interviews, just being in the same apartment. And some of them are really interesting. Some of them are funny. Some of them are very real.
Some of them don't show up.
Some of them don't show up, and you know who you are. So we'll see you next week. But yeah, if you check out his page, friend him, and you'll be seeing his YouTube post too. So yeah, friend him, check out his interviews, heart them.
Have a good week.
Thanks. Ciao for now.